Okay, we'll start off with Jason Kersey and then go to Joe Bettner. Jason?
Hey, Austin. With the position group that you guys have with Jeremiah, Mikey, Braden, obviously when he's healthy, how much do you guys make each other better? I mean, it seems like an extremely competitive group, but you all are still getting to play.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's very competitive, but that's what's good about it. Pushing us, it all starts in practice. So you got to be on your A game all week, and just playing like you, practicing like you play every week.
Joe Bettner and then Ryan Aber.
Austin, with last year waiting for your opportunity to be the kind of the leader for that H-back group, what's it been like, I guess, going through that process of kind of waiting for this opportunity and now kind of realizing that you're, the leading receiver for this OU offense?
Last year, it was obviously there's some points where, you could get frustrated, but I wouldn't trade last year for anything because it taught me so much. I was able to learn a lot from Grant, Lee, and Braden, and Jay Hall. I was able to learn, and I wouldn't be the player I am today without it. And a lot to get better at, but I'm very grateful for having that year last year to learn.
Thank you.
Ryan Aber and then Eric Bailey.
Yeah, Austin, when you were going through the recruiting process and looking at this offense, how much did you look at how OU used Mark Andrews and the matchup problems that he presented, and how much do you feel like you fit into that kind of role?
Yeah, I looked at that a lot. That was kind of who I was looking at when I was coming out of high school, how they used him, and I loved the way they used him, and I felt like that fit my gameplay the most in the country. So that's why I came here.
Appreciate it, Austin.
Eric Bailey and then Bob Prisbillo.
Hey, Austin, can you talk a little bit about your relationship with Coach Beamer? You guys arrived at the same time, and what's it been like growing at that position with him as your coach?
Yeah, I think he came a year before I did, but I love Coach Beamer. He's my favorite coach, one of the favorite coaches I've ever had, and he's great. He's a great coach, and he knows the game. He makes me a better player.
Thanks, Austin.
Bob Prisbillo and then James Hale.
When we Austin, when we talked to Coach Beamer during preseason, he mentioned he really wants you guys to work on yards after catch through the first four games. How would you evaluate how you guys as a position group have done in that facet?
We've done better, but there's always room to improve, and just like everything, there's room to improve, and that starts in practice. So.
Okay, James Hale and then Keegan Renault.
No, Stog, TCU, they run a lot of complicated things in the secondary. They've had guys they've always sent to the NFL. They always have a good secondary mix in what they do and everything. You do such a great job of finding spaces, holes, and things like that for Spencer to throw to you. Talk about what you see out of TCU and this situation you have with Spence, this connection you guys have. I'm sure you're looking forward to seeing that thing grow.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, TCU's got some dudes on the other side, so just like every week, we got to work, and it starts in practice. So.
And your connection with Spence?
Oh yeah, that's grown. We did a couple stuff before, high school with the opening and then the All-American game. So we've started the connection there, and it just kept growing and growing, and we got a pretty good connection now.
Thanks, man.
Keegan Renault and then Brandon Drum.
Yeah, Austin, I'm just curious with the blocking with you guys this year. It seems like you guys are doing a lot more two tight end stuff. How much have you been, disappointed in the way that you've blocked? Have you been, impressed with it? And how much growth do you think you have in that area?
There's always room to improve and everything. I felt like I haven't blocked near to my potential that I can, but there's always room for improvement. But I've for sure came a long way in that from last year, and I'll continue to improve.
Okay, Brandon Drum and then Parker Thune.
Hey, Austin, Spencer talked about the relationship you guys had before you got here. You touched on it just a second ago, but can you talk – he said you guys were committed at the same time. Can you describe that process or you committed the same week? describe that process that y'all.
They had us come up here at the same time. So yeah, we were both on the same visit, and we both committed at the same time. And we just since then we were the first two to commit, and then since then our relationship's grown, like texting and whatever, and we're good friends now. So that's just grown on and off the field.
Okay, let's go to Parker Thune and then Kerry Murdoch.
Yeah, Austin, I wonder if you could talk a little bit about Mikey Henderson, a guy who's earned some playing time alongside you and Jeremiah thus far this season. What have you seen from him? How has he grown being a true freshman in that offense, and how has he been able to accelerate so quickly?
He's going to be a great player, but he's grown so much since he's got here. He's super athletic, and he's going to be a great player. He works hard. He works really hard, and he's a smart kid, so he's going to be great.
Kerry Murdoch and then Ryan Chapman.
Austin, I'm curious, when you watch back tape, like for instance, the Texas game, you had the play out on the edge where you just snuck by the first down marker and you were taken down by a single DB. Like when you watch that back, does that kind of infuriate you just with your size? And I don't know if you kind of watch like guys like George Kittle or Gronkowski and just aspire to be that type of a physical player on the football field. Can you just talk about kind of that dynamic with you and your size?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, yeah, it does make me kind of pissed off, but there's always, I don't know. It's just, yeah, it does piss me off a little bit. Yeah. But it's always something I got to work on. And, it starts, like I've said, every day in practice. So I'll continue to improve on that.
What would you do different if you had that situation over again?
Well, I mean, I run the ball with the same intent every time to run through a dude's face and go score. So it just happened to be whatever happened. So
I'm not implying anything by that. I'm just,
No, you're good.
Thanks, Austin.
Okay, let's go to Ryan Chapman.
Hey, Austin. Obviously, Theo Weiss last season sitting behind CeeDee Lamb, not as much playing time. What have you kind of seen out of him as he's grown through this year? Because you and Weiss had big days there in the second half of the Cotton Bowl.
He hasn't. I don't think he's changed as a player, but not his mentality. And that's what makes him so good. He came with the same mentality last year, just working to get better every day, and he does the same thing this year. So that's why he's so great, is because he works so hard. And but obviously he made a lot of big plays the past couple of weeks. So
thanks, Austin.
And we'll go to Myron Patton.
Yeah, Austin, can you kind of, I guess, explain to people out there as they say, hey, you have a good connection with Spencer Rattler. Does that like him reading your body language, just a lot of work in the off season? Just kind of explain to people what that means and what that feels like when he kind of knows what you're going to do and you kind of know what he's going to do.
It's no doubt the work in the off season, all the work we put in, continuous routes on air and 7-on-7 in the off season. We kind of have a good feel for each other. I kind of know where he'll put the ball. He knows where I'm running. So
it's a feel where he knows where you like it.
Yeah. I mean, kind of. I mean, I don't really care where I like it. I just got to make a play on the ball. But he knows where to put it with me